We are live, it looks like. Hi, Chris.
Yes.
Hi there, Kristi. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm really, really good. How are things down there in Texas?
Oh, in Texas, just wait long enough and things will change. So, right now we had a high of, I don't know, 80 something a couple days ago. And in a couple nights, we're going to have a low of 30. So,
Wow. Yeah, Seattle, it's kind of cold. It's our winter. So I think we were in the low 40s yesterday. We've been in the 30s. We've got rain and we've got blue sky. Yeah. So anyway, but good. Yeah. So I am so excited to have you here today. And I really appreciate you taking the time to come on with me. And so I will go ahead and get started. We've been in about a minute and that'll be a good start. So everyone, I'm Tracy Cromwell and I'm a certified integrative nutrition health coach. And what that means is that we look at all aspects of your life when you coach with me. And in my book, Your Personal Journey with Food, we have what's called a life radar. And in that life radar, we look at home environment, home cooking, education, career, social life, creativity, finances, relationships, spirituality, joy, health, physical activity. And getting back to career, that is why I asked Kristi to join us today, because I know there's a lot going on in the world today. People looking for work, people wanting to change careers, and it's a challenging time to be noticed in that regard. And you are an expert in that. And you're a certified resume writer, which when I was out looking for work back in the day, I know that people were physically looking at my resumes. I didn't have to get through some kind of a algorithm to be seen.
right.
You're also a job search strategist and a career coach and a LinkedIn pro. So because career is such a big part of everyone's life, I really wanted to have people hear from you and just tell us about you and how you got into this and all that good stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I've been looking forward to this. This is what I do in my job is something that I feel so incredibly passionate about because I can relate to what job seekers are going through. When you're looking for a job, there's a huge involvement with your ego. And if you haven't been a job seeker for a while, things have changed dramatically. It's no longer just about creating a killer cover letter and, an on-point resume. I mean, there are strategies behind getting your resume in front of human eyeballs. And there's so many different things that are coming into play that as new job seekers, you may not be aware of. And I had my own personal unsuccessful journey trying to get landed. And it was tough. I spent over a year trying to get into a company and get landed. And I failed, and talk about ego taking a big hit. And I could go on and on about that. But, what I did realize, what I learned through investigating and having conversations with recruiters and hiring managers and headhunters is that there are things you can do in addition to creating a resume and creating a cover letter and just hitting the apply button. And all of the things that I learned were brand new things I was not aware of. And so I just started thinking, you know what, I have a tremendous opportunity to share all of this information with job seekers and hopefully they'll have a little bit of an easier time than I did, So I just kind of went for it and that's what I do now.
Isn't that incredible? It's similar, your experience and how you started your own company and how I got into this was my own journey was so challenging and difficult for me. And I realized that there had to be more people like me. And if I could take what I had learned, and help others, and create something. I completely get what you mean. And I think of you again when if I was to go out into the world today, into the job market, what you just told me, I'm like, I have no idea that I would even be noticed, So,
Yeah.
so what does that look like for somebody? And when you help them write a resume, what does that mean in regard?
So let me address something that I see most often when I talk with people that are in the job search process. There's that misconception. You think that you need to put all of your experience into the resume to prove your value. And that is a big mistake, because instead of looking like you have all of this experience in so many different areas, they don't want that. They want to know that you have experience 100% relevant to the position you're applying for. So back in the day, we were all about customizing cover letters and targeting cover letters and letting that get us in the door.
That's
with
right.
a good qualified resume. But now you have to, well, cover letters is a whole nother thing too, because for every person that says cover letters are critical and an essential part of the process, there's going to be hiring managers and recruiters that say, I don't even look at them. So my advice to job seekers when it comes to cover letters is do them anyway, because you never know if the person that you're sending it to, if that is critical for them or not. That could be a deal breaker. So spend the 20 extra minutes, send the cover letter. But anyway, a lot of people try to be everything to everybody and have a resume that covers their experience in 3 to 5 different areas. And you don't want that, because you come across as desperate. You come across as not focused, and they don't want to know about things that don't have to do with what the position is and the skills and values and criteria that they're seeking. So what I tell my clients is you have to create targeted resumes that speak to each specific position you're applying for. And I know that's not a great thing to hear. I mean, I get it. I know. But my job is to get job seekers seen, to get job seekers that interview. I can't guarantee that I'm going to get you hired, but what I do guarantee is that if you trust me in this process, and if you allow me to customize your resume and do what I teach you to do moving forward, you will get more action. You will get your resume on more eyes, on more appropriate eyes. So like you'll have recruiters reaching out to you for positions that you actually want. So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think about that, and I know I would be like, help me, please, because that's overwhelming what you just said. And again, like for me, if I was going into the job market, I would be pretty distressed about trying to figure out what to write in a cover letter, what to put in a resume, because of the different rules and the way things work. And so, yeah, incredible.
There's a lot to it for sure.
Yes. So in that, then, I know we had talked about, let's see here. You had mentioned, the strategy of getting your resume to the top of the pile, the strategy. Can I talk?
It's Friday, right? It's Friday.
Strategy. That's my new word today. Strategy.
I like that word, strategy.
Anyway, strategy.
Yes.
To tap into the hidden market. So what's that?
Okay. So this is another area of my business that I am super passionate about, and I see it working every day throughout the day if people do it. And it's easy and it's free. And it's fun. If you go into it with the right mindset, it's fun. It's that good old-fashioned word, networking. And so many people are afraid of networking because they think that it has to be this stuffy, uncomfortable, awkward conversation building that people don't want. But the truth is, networking can happen 24/7, anytime, anywhere. It can happen when you watch Monday Night Football. It can happen at church. It can happen when you're having wine with the girlfriends. Anytime that you are intentional and have a conversation with somebody about what you do, that's networking. And the people that feel uncomfortable and nervous and awkward about approaching a networking conversation with somebody, I always coach them and encourage them to take the attention off of yourself and start by asking questions that the other person can respond to and make statements that make the other person feel good and get them talking. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I used to, and still it's a challenge because I am actually somewhat introverted. People don't believe me, but I'm finding this Zoom networking a lot more comfortable for me now. But when I used to go to, and I'm sure they'll come back, those big networking events, it really helped me to not worry about myself, but just get to know other people. And, back in the day when I was in construction, interesting enough, networking was how I got job offers.
Right.
Or people would seek me out or whatever. And so I agree with you 100%, and it could come through a friend, hey, gosh, I had another person, just because they knew who I was, messaged me and said, hey, do you know anybody in this field? And I was like, gosh, I do. And I put them together and this person got the job. So I love that. It's just
because you know what, Tracy, you are a natural connector. And I've learned that about you. You like making connections between two people. You like making those introductions. And those introductions can be gold, I mean, with all of the people that and not just you, anybody, just my advice again for networking is, sit down and make a list of all the people that you have not contacted, but people that you have had conversations with over the past 6 months. And reach out to them and just ask them, hey, how's it going?
Yep.
Hey, what's your world look like? I mean, just start there. Yeah. Just start there and let the conversation unfold organically. Yeah.
And what's interesting too is we don't know that connection that was made 2-3 years ago. You don't know when that connection becomes one that you can then help, or that they can help you, and
right.
And I love the idea when it's organic and just a friendly conversation and putting the feelers out. And you can I'll ask you, would you find it inappropriate? Just say, we know there's so many people that have been laid off. They're looking for work, now is the best time to do that kind of a thing, because, to reach out and let people know. I mean, how would you recommend somebody do that, to try and get into that
right.
What is it called again? Hidden
into the hidden job market. So there's a couple of things. One thing is when you're like, I'm a big LinkedIn fan. So much networking happens on LinkedIn, and it's very informal, very, very informal, friendly, conversational. And a lot of that can happen just by looking on your news feed and commenting and engaging in conversations within the comments. They're like, I have this phrase that's on my whiteboard: the gold is in the comments. So it's not enough to just check like or heart or insightful. Go beyond that. Spend a couple of minutes, go beyond that, and make a comment. And then take it one step further and read everybody's comments and respond to the people commenting, because that that right there 10x is your professional networking, your professional communications, because now all of a sudden you've expanded your network literally by just commenting on somebody else's comment in a post. That now all of a sudden you've gone from a cold lead or introduction to something that's more warm, more fresh. So I highly recommend that. And can I share like one technique that worked for a job seeker that I worked for?
Absolutely. Okay, so, if you're willing to, I would love it. Yes, please.
Okay. So my client was in a particular industry, and he was liking comments on LinkedIn, which is great, right? It shows that you're active on LinkedIn, but I encouraged him to take it a step further. There is a company that he follows in his industry, and the company that he follows made a post, and they were recognizing service anniversaries, so it listed all the people that had been there for 1 year, for 5 years, for 10 years, for 20 years, right? And being that he wanted to stay in that industry, what I encouraged him to do is to send messages to every single person that was recognized for their service anniversary. Send them a connection request, and in the connection request, send a very short, simple message. Saw you're celebrating your service anniversary with XYZ company. Congratulations. That's it. That's it. I mean, how easy is that, right? But now all of a sudden you have a connection. You actually have multiple connections into that company. And then you can have exploratory conversations with those people and ask whoever you're speaking with at that company for an introduction to a key game player within that organization. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my head. Does it make sense?
I love what you're saying in the aspect that the first communication is, hey, congratulations. And you let the relationship build, and then you ask that question. What are your thoughts about this? Because, so on LinkedIn, sometimes for me, it's a challenge on my side of things that people will they want to connect with me. And then immediately I get the sales pitch.
Right.
So frustrating to me.
It is. It's annoying.
Or it's a robot reply, And I can smell it out. And it's, so what you said too is make that simple connection first, and then build that level next, it's what
You're right. You bring up a really good point, because of technology, there are so many bots out there. People set up workflows to send generic messages out on LinkedIn in bulk. And that's a whole nother conversation.
I know it is.
But to that point, if you're going to reach out and make those connections and ask for those introductions, et cetera, be sure that your message is unique. So reference a post that they made on LinkedIn that you saw, or reference something specific to them that a bot wouldn't have picked up on.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be my advice there, because like you, I get those messages all the time.
I bet you do.
Yeah. And it is annoying because it's inauthentic, even if the intent is sincere, it doesn't feel sincere. It feels icky and slimy.
Yeah. Yes. And, so I can see, with job searching, I love your recommendation, and, go ahead and reach out, because that's what LinkedIn's about. It's the business forum and career forum. And so everybody remember that. If you're not on LinkedIn,
if you come from an authentic place, and you are sincere, that should come through in the communications that you have. And also, I do also want to point out, there's a difference between getting a recommendation from somebody and getting an introduction. So I always felt uncomfortable, and maybe that was about me, but I always felt uncomfortable asking for recommendations, especially from somebody that I don't know very well, right? So that would keep me from asking for anything from that person. But instead, if you shift your mindset and ask for an introduction, not a recommendation, just an introduction, that's a no-brainer. I'm happy to make introductions for you. There's a big difference. Nobody's integrity is on the line. You're literally making an introduction.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. Yeah. That's great. So how do people get a hold of you or follow you? I know a couple things, but yeah.
So I'm active on Facebook. I have a personal profile and I also have a business profile. We Write It Now is my business. If you are a job seeker, I have a private closed door Facebook group called Career Ignite, where people join, and then I post a couple of times a week. I'll post career tips, motivational statements, and sometimes I'll drop in live. But for more information about the services that I offer, the best way to reach me is by going to my website, wewriteitnow.com. And my website is pretty extensive. It covers information about me. It covers the different services that I offer. I have a blog piece on it where I submit weekly blogs. Where I submit
we're both doing that today.
blogs.
New words for different things.
Yeah. But anyway, my website has a ton of information. And I also offer complimentary 30-minute consultations where we can just talk. You can share with me what's going on in your head, where you want your career to go. Maybe you don't know where you want your career to go. Just talk, and I also do free resume critiques. So that's the best way to reach me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty cool. Yeah. And you and I met, we've probably known each other now through a business group. Was it
almost a year?
Really? That long?
Almost a year. I think in February.
Wow. It's just, this year is so weird. Oh my word. Yeah. So we've known each other for a while, I would highly recommend taking Kristi up on her consult, her resume critique. Check out her website if you're looking for a job and you want to get that resume up to the top of the pile. When she and I first met, she explained in full detail how that whole journey went for her and how she, I know it's in the comments, not the comments, but the post description. But what she went through to figure this thing out and then also be able to make a guarantee. I mean, I wouldn't hesitate to give her a call and use her because, again, our lives are dependent on our careers and financial income and feeling confident in our careers. And so, don't give up on finding the dream career you want, just go for it. And if you need help with that resume or do the free critique, I would. Gosh, I think it's incredible.
And remember this, paying a professional resume writer, it can be expensive, but you need to remember this is an investment in your future, right? And so I'm going to help speed up the process and to speed up the process to get you hired faster, to get a paycheck coming to you quicker. So isn't it smart to make that investment sooner rather than later? Yeah. Because trust me, I spent a year, over 100 rejections. I don't want that for anybody. It was horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. So however it looks, if you need to set aside, $25 a week or $50, like whatever that looks like. And I offer flexible payment plans, but just remember, this is an investment. This isn't coffee. This isn't going to dinner. This is an investment. It's something that's going to pay off for years to come. Yeah. So, if not me, that's fine. I just highly encourage you to seek out a certified resume writer and take control of the direction your career is taking. So that would be my last piece of advice.
I love it. And that's one thing I had to learn too, is especially when I started my own business, I invested in coaches and education to run my business. I invested in school, and all of those things. And it was definitely an investment mindset, and it's paying off in so much greater dividends. And so I know sometimes, and I used to be this way, I wanted to do it all by myself.
Right.
It made it really hard in my wellness journey. Very painful journey, because I didn't want to hire anybody. I wanted to do it myself. And therefore I really, really struggled a lot. And, but also at the same time, like with you, we know what it's like to be there, and we know the way to get somebody, to the other side. So with that, I'm just so happy you could be here today. And
me too.
Yeah, so good to see you. And,
you too.
Yeah. And so I'm excited. You're like my first career interview person. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I would love to come back sometime.
I would love to have you back. Absolutely. So be sure, and I'll try and do this too. I know we've shared this in various places, but we'll want to go into the comments wherever we shared it and get your info in there. Again, I have your website, I think, in the post, but like you share your Facebook group, business page, and put all that in there. That'd be great.
I sure will.
Okay.
Sure will.
All right, Kristi. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Okay. Happy Friday. Happy weekend.
You too. So hang on one more minute. I'm just going to end the broadcast, but don't go.
All right.
Bye.